Peter and Jane. 6C. Reading with sounds. Here is a pig. Say the word pig. What is the sound when you start to say pig? Here is a pen. Say the word pen. You make the P sound. P sound. When you start to say pen. Here is a pension. Say the word pension. What is the sound when you start to say pencil? Here is a picture. Say the word picture. You make the P sound when you start to say picture. Here is some water. I can say water. It starts with W. Here is a woman. I can say woman. It starts with W. Here is a window. I can say window. It starts with W. Here is a wall. I can say wall. It starts with W. J. This is some jam. You can say jam. It starts with J. This is some jelly. You can say jelly. It starts with J. This is a jug. You can say jug. It starts with J. This is a jar. You can say jar. It starts with J. Complete the words as you write them in your exercise book. This picture will help you. Pot, pet, jug, wall, jug, jar, jam. You can read all the words when you make the sound. It is a jar. It is a jar of jam. He has a rag. It is a red rag. He is at the top. He stops at the top. Number 4. Look at the cat. This is on a rock. Number 5. She gets a pot. She puts jam in the pot. Number 6. The dog is wet. He rubs the dog. She gets the ham. She puts ham in the pan. Number 8. She has packets. She has lots of packets. K. We see a key. We can say key. It starts with K. We see a kettle. We can say kettle. It starts with K. We see a king. We can say king. It starts with K. We see a kitten. We can say kitten. It starts with K. V. Look at the van. You say van. It starts with V. Look at the vase. You say vase. It starts with V. Look at the vine. You say vine. It starts with V. Look at the violin. You say violin. It starts with V.
Mẹ ơi,
X.
chơi nhá.
S in box. X. S in fox. Y. Y is for yellow. Z for zebra, and Z for Jew. Complete the word as you write them in your exercise book. The picture will help you. Number 1, pig. Number 2, 10. Number 3, cat. Number 4, car. Number 6, pig. Pegs. Number 5, peg. Number 6, pen. Number 7, rat. Number 8, mug. Number 10, what is this? Tip is top. Number 10, pot. Number 9, tip. Tip or top? Top. Q. Q for quarter. Here is a quarter. Q for queen. Here is a queen. Q for quill. Here is a quill. Grandfather and grandmother write to say that you want to go away to the sea. They want Dad and the children to look after their dog, their house, and their garden when they are away. Mom reads the letter to Peter and Jane. Jane says, "Good, I want to look after the house." Peter says, "Yes, it will be fun. I will take the dog out every day, and we can look after the garden." "Let's write a letter to grandfather and grandmother," says Jane. "Yes," says Peter, "we will do it now." Copy out and complete. Mom read to Peter and Jane. Number 2, grandfather and grandmother. Grandfather and grandmother want to go away. Number 3, Peter and Jane will help. Number 4, Peter says, "Yes, I want to do it." The children write to their grandmother and grandfather. Jane has a pencil and she writes down the words. Mom and Peter help her. They tell Jane what to write. Jane writes, "Dear father, grandmother, and grandfather, thank you for your letter. We will look after your house and garden when you are at the sea. We'll like to help you very much. We will take the dog out every day for a walk, and we will look after the birds and flowers. Have a good time at the sea. Love, from Jane and Peter." Copy out and complete. Number 1, they want to write. Number 2, Jane has a pencil. Number 3, they like to help very much. Number 4, we will take the dog out. Peter's father takes his own father and mother to the station by car. Peter and Jane are with them. The children are going to see their grandmother and grandfather off. At the station, Peter and his sister help grandmother and grandfather out of the car. Dad has a bag. They find Jane in the station. Soon, grandfather and grandmother are in the train. "Look after each other," says Dad. "Yes, we will," says grandfather. "Have a good time," says the children. "Have a good time." Then the train pulled out of the station. Copy out and complete. Number 1. Peter's father has a car. Number 2. Dad has the bags. Number 3. Peter and Jane look up the train. Number 4. The children are not in the train. Here are Dad, Peter, and Jane at grandfather's house. They have come by car. Jane has Dor Ann with her today. They go into the house. They have been here lots of time before. The children like to come to this house. They love their grandfather and grandmother very much. Soon they start to work. Then does the work in the house and Peter and his father go into the garden. Peter looks for grandfather dog. He wants to take him for a walk. Copy out and complete. They are not their grandfather's house. They are at their number 1. They are at their grandfather's house. Number 2. They go into the house. Number 3. Soon they start to work. Number 4. Peter looks for the dog. Peter is out with the dog. He takes him where he can run about. It is very hot today. Peter finds it best to work under the tree because it is not so hot there. The trees are by the water. Peter sits on a wall by the water. He looks at some other boys as they play with a ball. One of the boys let the ball go into the water. Peter tells the dog to go into the water. The dog jumps in and gets the ball for the boys. Copy out and complete. The dog likes to run. Number 2. The boys let the ball go into the water. Number 3. The dog can get the ball. Number 4. He jumped in. He jumped in for the ball. Peter and his father are in grandfather's garden. Pat is with them. Jane is with an old friend of her grandmother who lives next door. This friend is going to let her have some eggs. Peter's father has work to do. Peter helps him and then he has a game with the dog. The dog likes to jump for a ball and to run after. The dog likes to jump for a ball and to run after it. It is not so hot now. There is some water in the garden. Soon Peter lets the ball go into the water. I'll get it, he said. Number 1. Jane has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs. Number 2. The dog runs and jumps. Number 3. It's not so hot now. Number 4. Look, says Peter, the ball is in the water. Jane comes out the house into the garden. She sees that the ball is in the water and that Peter is going to get it. "Don't get wet, Peter," she says. But Peter is soon in the water. "Help," he says. "Help me, Dad. Help me, Jane. I am in the water. Help me to get out." Then the dog jumps into the water. He wants to play with Peter. Dad and Jane run to pull Peter out of the water. They get him out, but he is very wet. Number one, Dad was in the garden. Number two, "Help me, Jane," says Peter. Number three, the dog sees Peter in the water. Number four, Peter very wet. Peter is very wet. Jane is in the garden. She can see some birds as they fly round the tree. She knows that her grandmother and grandfather love birds. Grandmother gives them something to eat every day, says Jane. They look as if they want to eat now. I must get something for them. She gets some cake and put it on for the birds. Soon they come down to eat it. Jane looks at the birds as they eat the cake. Then she gets some flowers from the garden for the friends who live next door. Jane is in the garden. Number two, she looks at the birds as they fly round the trees. Number three, Jane gets some cake for the birds. Number four, the birds eat the cake. Grandmother and grandfather have come home today. They have had a good time by the sea. Here is grandmother with Jane. She takes off her hat as she sits down to have some tea and talk to Jane. Jane tells her about the house, the garden, the dog, and the birds. She says that grandmother's friend next door gave them some eggs. Then Jane talks about her own friend. She tells grandmother about Mr. and Mrs. Green, Bob, Mary and Molly, about Palm, and about old Tom, who lives by the sea. Number one, grandmother takes off her hat. Number two, they have had a good time. Number three, Jane talks about Palm and Bob. Number four, Jane talks about old Tom. Grandfather thanks the children for the help they gave when he was away. He said he will take them to the zoo. Off they go the next day. Grandfather has no car, so they go by train. At the zoo, they walk around for some time, and then they have something to eat. Then Peter says, "I want to go on the elephant." Here he is on the elephant. Jane looked at an ostrich. "What a big bird," she says. The children have a good time at the zoo, and then they go home. They thank grandfather very much. Number one, Peter and Jane go to the zoo. Number two, children ride to the zoo. Number three, Peter gets up on the elephant. Number four, they thank grandfather very much.